So Primate is a new horror thriller, and if you saw the trailer for this movie, you know exactly what it's about. These two sisters, they live in this insane beach house. Their dad's going away on a business trip, so their bright idea is, hey, let's invite all of our friends, let's invite over some guys we just met, let's bring them all over, let's all get shit-faced and have a party. However, someone else occupies this house. It's their pet chimpanzee. His name's Ben, and he's part of the family. Until one day he gets bit by a rabid mongoose, and now he's gonna fucking kill everybody. I mean, it's an interesting enough premise you can get into. I mean, it's upheld the theory that I've always had, which is chimpanzees are not something that should be pets. I don't think the people who try to get into that really understand that these are extremely powerful animals where if something goes wrong upstairs, bad news for everybody. So I'll just get into that right out the gate because that's really the big thing that's going to draw you to this movie. If you're into something like that, how are the kills? How's the gore? How's the blood? How are the death scenes? The answer, they are pretty fucking effective. I mean, Ben, when he attacks someone, when he goes after someone right out the gate, it's a pretty gruesome death scene. And that is what goes on throughout this movie. When he kills someone, when he goes after someone, it's really brutal shit that happens. I mean, that illustrates the aggression that is in these chimpanzees. They will absolutely fuck you up. And so with that, you absolutely have an appreciation for the blood and the gore and the death scenes. I will say, they get very creative here. Admittedly, I'm not a gore hound, so it's not like something I seek out if I hear the movie's full of a lot of blood and death and everything like that. But there are some death scenes in this movie that I can safely say I haven't seen done before. It's gruesome, it's fucked up, it has to stand with like the, oh, holy shit kind of reaction. So if you're into something like that, it is here. Also, when the movie wants to be intense, it absolutely is. There could be a moment where, the chimpanzee is stalking one of the girls, they're hiding in the closet, you gotta be really quiet, you cannot make a noise, or if you do, he'll find you and you're dead. So it did have those little moments of tension throughout the movie, which is good. It works in a situation like this. I was never terrified necessarily, but you feel it for the characters a little bit. When it comes to the characters themselves, I mean, this is a horror thriller. I don't want to call it a slasher because it's not really a slasher, but a lot of people are gonna die. So as a result, it's not a movie where you're supposed to walk away caring about really any of these characters. But you do feel like with the two sisters, the movie does try to an extent. I mean, in the beginning, like the little sister's mad at the older sister because she's like never around anymore, and you feel like maybe there were points in the movie it wanted to capitalize on that, but I never really felt that there was progression in a relationship if there was meant to be that. I mean, there was a stretch of this movie, they're all like hiding in the pool because the chimp can't swim, so that's where they're safe, and that's where the movie does slow down a little bit. You would think maybe there you could take a break and allow the characters to build upon something, but they don't really. It drags down for really no reason. Also, yeah, I will say, is it a movie that ignores logic? Yeah, kind of, sort of, a lot. I mean, there was a moment in this movie, right when you see the signs that Ben is going crazy, like he's acting very aggressively, he attacks somebody, he does something really bad, there is a moment where one of the girls that's in this group says, do you have a gun? Can we just shoot him in the fucking head and take him out? And of course, they all look at the girl and they're like, what is wrong with you? We are not going to hurt him. He is family. But yeah, in a situation like that, I mean, not that I'm one for hurting animals at all, but situations like that, I do kind of look at the girl and be like, she has a point. I'm kind of inclined to agree with her. Now look, the argument that can be made is like, people who have pets don't want to put down their pets, but I don't know, if an animal is a threat to myself or the people around me, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Also, as I alluded to earlier, chimpanzees, these are really strong, really unique animals. So when there are moments where characters are able to get away from Ben as he's going after them, or they're able to, maybe close the door on him as he's trying to force it open. Namely when like these 90-pound girls are able to do that, there I call a little bit of bullshit. I mean, these things have like the strength of 8 men, but this little girl can like close the door on as it's trying to get in. Do I buy it? Not for 1 second. And yeah, the movie also does the cliche thing that goes on in situations like this where you feel like someone is dead and then they're very much not dead and just, back to being able to do whatever it was they could do before a situation happened. But you do sit there, it's like, wait, this just happened to you? How are you still alive? I don't know if you could chalk it up to adrenaline. I don't know if you can chalk it up to, I don't know, just the sake of the story carrying out just a little bit longer, but did it make sense? Not really. I mean, hell, even the end of the movie itself, it's like everything unfolds, everything happens the way it happens, and the movie, I'm not gonna say it ends abruptly because the story for what it's going for clearly wraps up where it is. But this is also where the logic part of your brain really starts thinking, and you start asking yourself, it's like, well, okay, yeah, I mean, this all happened, but someone's getting sued, let's be real. Like, I don't know, maybe I would have appreciated if the movie did one of those, like, little, I don't know, sometime later, and we find out, like, the aftermath of everything that went down. I mean, but the movie probably doesn't do that because it's probably a no-shit situation where it's like, yeah, it's not over for anybody here in terms of, like, where life goes on forward, but they were like, we can't do anything else with the movie for that, so cut it off right there. So yeah, it makes sense for the movie, but if you watch this movie, you're going to think about that, and it's just never going to leave your mind. So all in all, Primate, it is what it is. The characters are forgettable. The ones that maybe you're supposed to care about, you don't really care about. You certainly don't care about their relationship. The movie throws a lot of logic to the window. The movie, it's a very simple premise. When the movie does want to be intense, it actually can be pretty intense. I will give it that, and ultimately, it's this. The big thing that's going to sell this movie are the death scenes. Because when people die in this movie, when people get attacked in this movie, it is really gruesome, it is graphic, it's bloody, it's extremely fucked up. So understand who you are. Some people in this world, I know there's an audience for that, people who love these, you know, big gore fest kind of movies. If that's something that you're into, you'll probably have a great time with this. If you need a little bit more than that, you will probably be thinking that as you leave this movie. And that's just where I am. Graphic death scenes are not going to be everything that to sell me on a movie. It might be for some people. I'm not among them. So for that, I can only give Primate a 5 out of 10, which does make about half the movie worth watching, at least.
How much you want?
Half.
If I ever found it on TV or stream or something like that, and I had a friend over, I would just fast forward through all the death scenes and be like, dude, you gotta see this stuff. It's really fucked up. So that's all I gotta say, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video. And as always, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.